Let's take just a minute here to talk about getting hired. I've had the opportunity to hire a handful of people in my lifetime. What I've realized is that many candidates do not know that I'm hoping that you will be a great fit for my team, probably even more than you're hoping that you will get the job. The process of hiring someone, bringing someone onto the team, is to replace either someone that's going out or to increase the capacity of the team. In the instances where someone is going out and I need to hire someone to replace them, it's a hard process. It's disruptive, I've lost experience, and I'm really hoping that you're going to tell me a story about how you're going to improve my life. If you're in the interview, please tell stories about some of the problems that you've solved in the past and how those problem solving skills might help the team that you're about to join. Let me give you an example. My father-in-law tells a story about how he took a database of information, put it into an Excel database, and then it allowed it to become a searchable training tool for future problems. He didn't have anyone tell him to do that. He simply saw a problem, invented the fix, and presented the solution. If you can tell me a story like that, I am absolutely excited about what else you might be able to do for the team. So speak up, tell your stories, tell about the problems that you've solved, tell about the sales growth that you've encouraged, talk about the victories you've had. You could bring up a little bit of the problems you've had, but always make sure that you're telling the story of the solution and how that worked through. Many interviewees do not ask enough of questions. If you ask me questions that sound relevant to the problems that I'm having, I'm much more interested in you as a candidate because it feels like you have some idea about the world I'm already working in. If you come in for an interview and you have no idea what my company does, you have no idea what we do, what we're about, you don't know our core values, it tells me that you have not done any research on the company, and I don't think that that represents you well. So how do you win the interview? Here's some things to know if it's going well for you. Listen closely. When I start the interview, I'm going to be using terms like this job or this role does this and yada yada yada, this is what we're looking for. But if the interview is moving along well and in your favor, you're going to hear things like, so when you're in this role and this happens, how do you think you'll respond to that? And you hear a presumptive close in the interviewer. That means that he's imagining you doing the job, and it also means that you're actually winning that interview. So go in with confidence. If you come in with confidence, it makes me feel confident about you. There's also some things about body language to keep in mind. When you meet your interviewer, obviously stand up, give a handshake, be firm, good eye contact, make sure that I know that your lights are on. The next thing is lean a little forward. So one of the things that's interesting to watch in candidates is if you lean back, it's an indicator that somehow you're comfortable or you've allowed yourself to not be hungry for the role. So you actually physically want to do a slight lean in, not too much, but enough that I know that you're engaged in the conversation. The last thing here is don't be afraid to push. And I mean this as far as questions. So when you're questioning me about the role and making sure that it's a fit for you and making sure you understand what's expected, those are the kinds of things that really encourage me and make me feel confident about hiring you. One of my favorite questions is, what are your expectations in the first 90 days? If you can ask that, and if your employer can articulate it well back to you, that's a good sign. By the way, if they can't articulate what success looks like in the first 90 days, that probably is not a good sign. They may not be a good fit for you, and you may want to move on. As always, have fun, enjoy the process, make sure that you're learning, and stay engaged. Like and subscribe if you found this video helpful. I hope you've really enjoyed this video.